What's happening, so fam? It is Tarot Tuesday. Okay, can we just talk about how amazing this lighting is? This is literally just all sunlight. So let's take advantage of it right now before it gets dark and I have to turn on one of these lights, which I really don't like the way they look sometimes on here. But yeah, I'm sending you all the love. Number one, super dope energy happening for a lot of us, but we also got to strap in because there's some stuff that's about to go down. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share. Let me know if this resonates with you. How's this playing out in your life? I'd love to hear about it. And if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, don't forget to check out the links in the description below so you can go ahead and set up a clarity call with me or one of my coaches, and we can see where you fit in the community. Like if you want to learn more about like shamanism or energy healing, or you just want to develop your psychic ability, we will find the right path for you and help you crush all your goals. So sending you all the love. Let's get started. Now, there are a lot of different energies happening here, okay? This is going to affect all of us. This is the cosmic reading this is the weather, pretty much, okay? We're going to start off in the very center. We have the energy of the sun, which ultimately tells us that no matter what happens on this template, there's going to be some positive vibes that come out of it, okay? And then we also have the energy of the third eye chakra, which is basically telling us that we're being put into this position of really recognizing our own inner power, how we play into this reality with our actions, our thoughts, our communication skills, anything that we are putting as a creation into the universe. We're now starting to see how that's going to come back to us and help us create more of our personal universe, right? So we work with the universe to bring energy into our personal universe, okay? So one of the things that I really, sorry, my mic kind of fell off. One of the things that I really want you to pay attention to is how can you improve in your life? That's the main thing that's really important, is how can you improve in your life? Where are you not showing up? How can you show up more? And how can you remind people of their personal power? This is kind of like a lot of that energy. The third eye chakra is connected to the sixth dimension. So right now, if you're getting drawn to speaking to your ancestors, or you're channeling babies, or you're in this vibration of talking to otherworldly beings that are associated to knowledge that's beyond our current comprehension, then here you understand why, because we're in the sixth dimension. The sixth dimension is very much still tied to just knowing things. This is like public information is a public library. We are not only just experiencing the sixth dimension, but we are also experiencing a dimension called the black sun in like dark astrology. In dark astrology, the black sun is all about recognizing the good and the evil in everything that we do. So sometimes you have to say no to the one friend that is really depending on you to show up to their party because it's not in alignment with you, and you might hurt their feeling, right? You're honoring your own energy, which is the good, right? But then you're hurting somebody else's feelings for not showing up to their party. That's where the bad is, right? So there's always like this ebb and flow of both polarities with every action that you take, because that's just the order of this reality. That's where the black sun is really coming through. The black sun is also ruled by a demon called Belphegor, and Belphegor is the demon of sloth. So you might be noticing that like you're getting all these great ideas to conquer and execute rather business plans, or you're trying to like do other things that are really like innovative for your life, but then you can't find the time or the energy to execute these particular things. Now that's where you have to overcome the demon itself, because the demon is the Lord looking over the black sun until the end of this year. So you're not going to run away from this demon. He's going to show up in a bunch of different ways, just so that you can feed his energy, right? So make sure you take advantage of any of the ideas that are coming through. Try to find a way to really execute yourself so you can find the highest vibration possible. Now, during this time as well, you need to pay attention to anything that feels like a black hole. Now, a black hole can be good or bad. The good half of the black hole is basically saying like, oh yeah, all these beautiful, amazing things are coming to me. I'm collapsing time. I'm collapsing space. I am this gravitational force of all of my power and my desire, and I am changing form actively, right? That's a good aspect of the black hole. The bad aspect of the black hole is when there is something that is in your reality that feels like it's taking away from your energy. It's just taking it away. It's taking your life force, your concentration, your peace of mind, your effort. It's taking away from that, right? And it elongates time and space because you don't feel like you're in your power. pay attention to what black holes exist in your reality. There might be more than one, okay? If you only have one, good for you. You're right on point. If you have multiple, try to close those black holes that are draining you of your life force. That might be friends, that might be projects that you're doing, that might be ways of thinking that you've been doing things, okay? And really pay attention to the synchronicities that are coming through. That's what the third eye is all about. The third eye is all about intuition, okay? The third eye is also about destruction, and it's also about movement, okay? It's tied to the element of water. So if the third eye is controlling all of the next week or so, that's going to be like playing out in our reality, and actually this might be like closer to 2 weeks where this is playing out, you need to understand there are things that are trying to put you in flow. Don't fight the flow, even if it's uncomfortable. Pay attention to the things that are becoming very obvious. If you recognize that, you're talking to somebody in your dream and you haven't talked to them for a while, maybe that's actually a physical communication that you need to be responding to. Like, there's a lot of water movement energy, a lot of Cancer energy, a lot of emotional energy that's involved here as well. So you have to be also paying attention to any anger outbursts, because if you're having anger particularly, that's tied to the vibration of Satan in dark astrology, which is basically really blocking your Mother Earth chakra if you're experiencing anger and giving into anger. If you're experiencing more lack of self-control, we're dealing with Belphegor, the demon of sloth, okay? Which is essentially really affecting the solar plexus chakra. Now, as we dive deeper into the sun aspect, it's funny because we're looking at the sun, which is spirit. And spirit is telling us that no matter what happens, it's going to be positive. We are really tuning into the transparency and the clarity of reality itself. We come to the energy of Ra, another Egyptian sun energy. This is now the second time it's referencing the sun, which is basically telling us Ra is the energy of destruction and nourishment. If you get too close to the sun, you're going to basically be disintegrated. If you get too much sun, it's going to start being painful. If you get the right amount of sun, you're going to have growth, right? And if you don't have enough sun, then you're kind of stuck in the dark and you're not really finding the clarity in your own consciousness. So the eye of Ra itself is tied to nourishing yourself. That's that black hole energy, but it's also tied to demanifesting things as well, like things that no longer add to your nourishment. It's up to you on whether or not you want the positivity of Ra or the negativity of Ra, the sun, your spirit, to shine in these moments right now. Especially, you'll find a lot of the negativity shining, or the negative experience of the sun itself and the power of Ra, when you're not being authentic to yourself. So during this time, you might be realizing that you're getting a lot of psychic attacks. You're feeling like, there's a lot of things trying to drain your energy. If that would be the negative aspect of Ra, because you still have not looked at a portion of your ego, or you have not looked at how you are the co-creator of these negative experiences, you are fighting the full potential and divine power that you personally have. Because right now we're changing form. So the only reason why you would be having any deep negative effects is because you're not on top of your emotional responses. There's something that you need to still accept, or there's an emotional response that you need to make sure that you push out of your existence in general, so that you can really understand yourself. Pushing things out shouldn't be done from a victim mindset, okay? Pushing things out should be because you've decided as a creator, without any other emotional response, that something no longer serves your reality, okay? So make sure when you decide to execute yourself, you're not doing it from a mental space that says I'm a victim and this is why I'm reacting. More so, I'm the creator and this is my choice to put into action, okay? Very important stuff. Powerful messages coming through today, okay? So then finally, as we wrap up the sun comes through with the energy of ruin, basically. And this is the demon of destruction of old systems, things that no longer serve us in the greater scope of everything that we're doing. Asbiel is the angel that has seen many societies fall and then reconstruct themselves to fall again, because nothing in this reality is permanent. So that's actually a good thing. We're seeing in America some of the Pluto return collapses that are happening in our culture, and that's negative in certain aspects, but it's opportunity in others. Look at all the collapse as opportunity, not a negativity, not as something that's gonna like hold you back. You're mastering your own personal universe. As long as you continue to master your own personal universe, you will reach your goals no matter what is happening in the world. Okay, so I really want you to understand, destruction is your friend. Destruction, destruction. Okay, there's two destructive cards here. It's your friend. Think about Kali. Even Kali helps you destroy things in your life that no longer serve you, so you can have a higher resonance in your reality altogether. Okay, so as we know that, okay, you need to grab the sword, the Ace of Swords, and you need to be willing to take the action necessary for you to accomplish yourself. That might be, hey, I am ready to just not work anymore and just coast and figure it out one step at a time, because that's what my soul wants from me, right? That's what my spirit is manifesting. Or you could be one of those people like, hey, I've been snoozing for a long time. I got all these ideas. Right now is the moment to execute it. No matter what is going on, stay focused on your personal universe. That's the center aspect right here that we're diving into. So then we're going to go ahead and we're going to dive over here to Jupiter. Jupiter is the center of finances at a global scale almost. So we have the energy of Hod, which Hod is the angel of glory, which is ultimately saying, hey, we're going to really acknowledge the splendor, the beauty, and all of existence itself. This is where you're going to find a lot of wealth. If you start looking at like, wow, like it's so, the day is so beautiful. Oh my God, like I had that one blessing come through today. Wow, the universe is just amazing. Oh my God, I get to breathe every morning or sleep in. What a blessing to be able to experience just the aspect of sleeping, because when we're in other dimensions, we won't even experience sleep anymore, right? Because it's a physical experience. Looking at your physicality as bliss itself. So many beings around the cosmos, the multiverse, want to become physical, and yet you have that opportunity. What glory there is in your life. What glory there is in being you, because you are divine in this moment where so many other things cannot be experiencing yourself. Change the narrative on your own viewpoint on how reality is perceived through your eyes and through your mind and through your heart and through your words. If you notice that as I speak, it feels soothing as I'm talking about glory, that's what Hod is all about. It's about really vocalizing the things that are happening into your life, right? Don't talk about things that you don't want. Talk about things that you do want, or that you are experiencing, or you're putting things in motion. Don't say, I'm going to start my business, saying, I'm in the motion of starting my business. This whole entire template is about water. Stay in flow, stay in flow, stay in flow. And even if the whole aspect of creating your business is very like expansive to you right now, just start off by figuring out the name. And then from there, go ahead and address, maybe some color schemes. And from there, go ahead and address if it's going to be X, Y, and Z. Take it one step at a time, but stay in flow is the main thing, because that's what you're going to gravitate. That gravitational energy shows up with Hod as well, saying like, as you focus your attention on glory, on splendor, and you vocalize that, and you let your words become magical, that's what's really going to change your reality. That's what you're going to gravitate. We're quantum shifting, not just now, but in many other ways. So allow yourself to really work with the universe at this time. The universe is telling you what you need to become abundant. Be clear. Don't just say, oh, one of my friends most recently wanted to manifest an emerald for a ring that he's getting made, right? And he said, I want an emerald for my ring, but he never specified the color of the emerald. So he did find the emerald that he was looking for, but it wasn't the exact color that he wanted. So I told him, hey, go back to the drawing board, ask the universe again for that particular stone, but make sure when you ask, you say, I want the one with this shade of hue of color in my reality, and watch it come through to you, okay? You don't want to just say emerald, because an emerald could show up in any shape or size or color, right? You want that exact emerald, that's that shade of green, that has this exact design, that is perfect, the one that you fall in love with. And start to state, because this whole entire year as well is ruled by Venus, which is the planet of love. State that you want to be experiencing details that are going to gravitate you more towards love. And you also have to understand that this is a double-edged sword when you say that you want to manifest something out of love, because love may not always show up in that kind of most obvious comfortable experience. Love can come in a challenging moment where you need to grow past your ego so you can understand what love really is. You might have to change the way you think to embody more love in your reality and in all of your creations, and you have to be willing to do that. As we talk about love, we're being drawn over here to the energy of Venus, which is the energy that is controlling this year. We come out with this energy of blistering onslaught. Lots of fire energy that is going to be redistributing the physical universe with those sixes on that card, which is saying that our physical universe is going to change form drastically, and it's going to take form around what the collective consciousness is holding on to the most emotionally. If the collective consciousness feels extremely stressed, taken advantage of, and not happy, we are going to gravitate towards a collective universe that changes form to address that problem. Okay, and it's not going to be like, oh, we're going to manifest more of the same. No, we're going to manifest the confrontation between how we feel and what our choices are, which is only going to cause like a cataclysm of chaos until we find harmony. So the sixth dimension is all about transparency. It's about seeing things, right? So if we're feeling a specific way, we're going to be brought head to head with that thing so we can understand it, we can see what our options are, and we can choose to stay the same or change. That's that energy right there. It's an onslaught. It does not care whether or not you want to avoid it anymore. You're going to have to confront it. And as we do that, we step deeper into this energy of Antojai, which this is the spirit card of Antojai, meaning like we're stepping into the power of the gods right now. We're truly understanding something that is known in Egyptian alchemy and in Antojai as Sekhem, the power to change your form, the power for you to become anything you want. But you need to understand that that's happening in so many different ways. Like you're changing so many different things without you recognizing it. Right now, you sitting down and choosing to be happy is changing something else on the other side of the globe. You could be impacting someone to become a better person. You could have changed someone's negative reaction in this moment of you being happy and made them make a better choice, or make them actually spread that happiness in one shape or form without you even knowing it. So this is where we're being told the form of everything that you do and everything that you are is really going to come full force in front of you. And that's a good thing too, because if you have a clean form and you're somebody like, I live in my authenticity, I know what I'm doing, when things show up, I'm willing to be progressive, I know myself. The greatest mantra in all of alchemy is know thyself, right? If you know yourself, then that means you're going to manifest all the things rapidly that are going to make you feel like a god. And that might be chaotic as well, because you might not have been expecting all these blessings to just drop suddenly and so swiftly that you have to now make almost like a personal change with yourself, right? It could be a little bit of a challenging but amazing experience as we dive deeper in here. Powerful stuff. Now we're going over to Mercury. Mercury is also one of the energies that's really accompanying Venus, okay? They're like kind of like besties. So it comes out with this energy of the bone army, okay? So Mercury has to do with intellect, it has to do with speed, it has to do with changes and just commerce in general. The bone army is associated to the energy of people and physical energies, okay? So this also has to do with like home base. So here we're talking about our physical planet and even the US currently, where this energy is going to be impacting a lot of people. Now, this does mean death in some way, shape, or form. That could be physical death, like massive physical death, or it could be emotional consciousness death, where people just are like, hey, we got to choose better, we got to do better than this, right? So right now this energy is up to the consciousnesses that are creating it, are gravitating themselves currently. I was looking at the timelines earlier. This does not mean a catastrophe in its in full, you know, like a pandemic or something, but it does have that energy that it could happen if we do not monitor our energy. Now, what I want you to really understand is that you are so powerful. One person resonating at a very high frequency consciously because they want to impacts a million people. So you just really have to remember that when you stay at your highest speed, your highest vibration, you are impacting a million other people and that right. And as a divine creator, if you want to truly become an ascended master, that's going to be one of the things that you keep at the forefront of your mind perpetually and consistently, so that we don't have a physical response like this. Okay, that's what is really going to determine what reality we go into, rather we go into a physical response or an emotional spiritual response. This energy is the Lover's card. You marry whatever your consciousness is in alignment with. Okay, so I know that sounds a little bit doomsday-y, and I don't really like to spread messages. I am a reporter. I tell you what's in the cosmos, and I'm not doing any services if I'm not telling you that there's a potentiality that there could be a physical representation that makes everybody uncomfortable versus an emotional or spiritual vibration. Okay, so just make sure you stay on top of yourself and don't let the negative of the news and stuff like that about war, pandemics, monkeypox, whatever, really get to the core of who you are right now. Stay in the middle of your wits and make choices accordingly. We go over to Pluto. America is in its Pluto return. As we go into that, we have the energy of the Tokyo Tower, which is the moon itself, saying like, hey, stay focused on the higher aspects of your reality. There are some problems with the Sevens of Swords coming through, but those problems are not something that are going to destroy us. They're not going to be something that is not capable of being repaired or adjusted or even upgraded. Okay, so no matter what happens in the world in the coming week or so, or in your personal universe even, you always have the ability to what? Change your form, be in the flow. As long as you stay in the flow, you will have what you're looking for. Stay in your power. Remember the power of the gods. That's what this year really wants you to really focus on, the power of your own love. Now, as we looked at the moon here on Pluto, which has to do with death, we're going to go over to look at the moon here on Earth, okay? And the moon with Earth shows up the energy of Uranus. Uranus is massive cataclysmic change, okay? Change that cannot be avoided. That's the moon energy. Moon points us over to Uranus, and Uranus is basically telling us that we're going to deal with changes that are at a psychic level, a very heavy, destructive psychic level that shows us our true potential as human beings. This is the Saturn energy. If we go from the Saturn energy over here, when we read it, we come out with the energies of Pluto, which Pluto is all about the dead scream. And what's interesting is that we have the dead scream here, and on Earth we have the desolate scream as well. So there's a lot of like death energy that has to be answered for. Like we have to be able to talk about it. If we jump from Saturn over to Pluto and we look over here, Pluto then tells us to go back to the moon, and there's going to be issues that we have to get through, but for some, there are issues we have to get through, but don't worry, they have solutions. Okay, so you see that there's kind of like a cycle, like a circle coming here. Circles are cycles. There are spaces. There are time periods. That means this has happened before. And the planets are all coinciding with each other to say this is not going to be avoided. So Saturn has to do with the energy of the third eye, okay, which is also that psychic awareness. If Uranus is telling us our psychic awareness has to change, and then we look at Uranus with the energy of the silver crystal, our souls have to change. Our souls have to physically change and stop looking at the illusions of time and space. Okay, we have to stop looking at the illusions of time and space, separation in any way, shape, or form, whether it's racism or gender, sexuality, or that, we live in different countries, or whatever, that I'm human, you're alien. Whatever the separations are, those need to stop, because it's harming the greater collective ecosystem that is unity itself. We all are experiencing source. We're all interconnected. There is no separation. If you're willing to really evolve in this time period with all the magic that's happening right now, all this destructive magic, you need to understand that there's unity in all this. And through unity is where you start finding nothingness. And when you experience nothingness, you start really experiencing how to truly become a divine being, oneness and nothingness in the same place. That's what gives you the opportunity to transform like the butterfly and experience flight or a higher perspective of consciousness. You're able to exist on a different plateau altogether from regular people who do not understand the magic that I just described to you. But as we come back around, right, because this talks about a spiral, a circle that's happening right now. Whatever happens during this psychic evolution and whatever happens with culture and in our personal universes, we have solutions for it. Just stay focused on the fact that you have solutions. When that change comes and there's going to be, and it's impacting a ton of people at the foundational level, which is earth, and the deadly desolate screams, as we start really experiencing that energy of seeing physical worldly change, our higher self, okay, our higher spirit, Neptune, tells us to keep empathy open, okay? We need to keep recognizing that we are one collective being. That's why you need to really stay in focus with yourself. And this is what's interesting. Neptune is the higher aspect of Venus, and Venus tells us that we cannot avoid confronting the things that we're supposed to be confronting at this time, that we are being told, that we are being forced to evolve into our godliness. Evolving into a god or ascended being or a being that has more consciousness requires some level of awareness, and not a lot of people right now have awareness. A lot of people are becoming aware, but they don't even know probably what they're fully aware of. And this is where we need empathy, because as people awaken, people are going to have like things that annoy you, right? You have to be willing to recognize that we are all trying to help each other reach the next level. As we come over to Mars, Mars is the lover of Venus, okay? We have the energy of Zeke, which is really interesting. Zeke is like a shaman that believes only shamans should exist in reality. Anyone else who's not a shaman and not a powerful shaman should be exterminated from this reality. Now, this is a very powerful message here, because if this is the lover, and what's interesting is he is the shaman and his spirit guide is the spirit of fire, okay? And the spirit of fire only wants to have the most amount of power in reality so everyone can feel empowered, okay? So these two energies coming together is really just communicating to you, okay, reality wants the highest resonating people. The cosmos is really choosing the highest resonating people. The highest resonating people may not always be the most benevolent people. That is understanding the power of the gods, because not all gods are benevolent. And as we look at this energy, we come to the energy of Set, which is also on Mars. And Set is the god of chaos, the god of confusion. Set, as a word in ancient Egyptian, meant so many different things. It could mean blade, butcher, evil. It could mean confusion or desert. It could mean so many different aspects. Like, I can't even think of any more right now, but there's so many. And it's basically telling us that there's going to be a lot of confusion. What is the definition of that confusion for you? Are you going to be confused in a negative way or a positive way? Remember what the flow is, right? Set is not a negative being. Set is also tied to power. Set actually teaches you the divine masculine concept of power, where Sekhmet teaches you the divine feminine concept of power. And if you were to look at this whole entire template, the whole universal energy is the divine feminine energy of Sekhmet, the goddess of war. We are at war. We are in the dimension of the black sun, which is innovation, but also slothness. And it's also black holes, whether you're distorting time for the better or for the worse. Set coming in here with the energy of Mars being the lover of the energy of Venus that controls his entire year. Set's telling you you should be focusing your power on the dominion of your reality. What is that you have conquered? What is that you know? Are you reaffirming it to yourself? Okay. A great example is this is if you know that you're really amazing at divination or astral travel, keep reaffirming that to yourself. You know, keep telling yourself, I'm so good at this. This is so easy for me. Live that life. You are putting the dominion and the rules of your reality as all form is changing. This is all about power, right now. And if you have a problem with power, you have to address why you have power issues. That might not always be because of another person. It might be because of you, because you don't have a clear definition of power. Maybe you don't believe you can be powerful. Maybe you believe that power is something that's really out of sorts, but power right now is in the cosmos. So how far away is power? Unless you're giving it time and space to be calculated, okay? Really pay attention to that. Coming over here, we have the energy of Min, which Min is going to come through later after we've gone through this entire phase with the cosmic energies. A lot of fertility is going to come through, but it's going to come through really intense, okay? It's going to almost, some of these shifts right here are almost going to be unforeseen, and we're not going to be able to fully see where they came from or how they manifested. It's just going to happen, and we're just going to have to deal with it, okay? But after that, so much fertility is going to come through. For us right now is to focus on the hunter's perch, which is seeing everything. And as you can see, he is basically sitting on top of a building looking over the entire cosmos, okay? We have to pay attention to this template, pay attention to how we're contributing to it, and work with it to get the highest results possible, not just for ourselves, but the people we care about and the other people that coexist with us as well, okay? As we come over to the direct competition energy, it's a smoldering confidence that you need to have, that you know your reality is going to manifest yourself. And no matter what destructive, loneliness, dark energies are presenting themselves in this reality right now, you have to have strength to come out on top, okay? This is about self-mastery, being like the sun, focusing on the fact that at the end of all this, out of all this confusion becoming now clear to us, which is then a truth for us to confront, that we are going to find positivity and fruitfulness from this experience itself. Finally, do not be surprised when this happens. You have been told what to focus on and what to do, okay? And sometimes we don't want to hear the truth, or we don't want to really fully pay attention to how we play a role in the cosmic energies and how we're co-creating with the grand mind. But that is the fool's errand, not to see how powerful you are and that you are the universe itself. The universe is you. You're both experiencing each other from different aspects, and you are the divine warrior that we're calling upon right now to really shift this reality. So many people are asking you to become the divine warrior of your own personal reality. Maybe your family, maybe your friends, maybe your fans. Other people are asking you to become a divine warrior because the cosmos needs you. And when I say other people, it could be even angels and beings in other dimensions. This is the reading for our Tarot Tuesday. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and on TikTok, and share me with all your friends. Let me know if this resonated. Did you know that this was happening already? How is this playing out for you? I would love to know. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon. Your support is very much so appreciated. Don't forget that you can take all of our courses down below in the description, or you can set up a clarity call to work with me one-on-one if shamanism is your calling, or you want to become a quantum healer or a master medium psychic. Sending you all the love. I'll catch you later.